This project had been around for a long, long time. People had been waiting for Pacino to make the film of Glengarry for a long, long time. The producers of the film contacted my agent about playing this role that I played, that Mamet had written just for the film. You know, my agent at that time, his name is Michael Bloom, he said, if Pacino doesn't show up to the altar again and doesn't make the movie again, how about Alec plays Ricky Roma? And the producers said, wow, that's an interesting idea, we might do that. And Pacino did not show up, so to speak. I got a phone call and they said, would Alec like to play Ricky Roma? And my agent said, yes, he will play Ricky Roma, definitely he'll be there. And the moment we did that, Pacino agreed to play Ricky Roma.
Well, I'm not a leash, so I don't know, do I? Let me have your attention for a moment.
They sent me this piece and I thought, God, I don't want to be this guy. You know, he's just an asshole, you know. And here I was going to go make this movie with all these people that I admired. And I thought, well, I don't want to be the guy that comes in and is not part of the gang. You know, I'm kind of outside of it. And there was no way around it.
Put that coffee down.
I remember that I would come in to the day we started shooting out in Queens, and I think it was Kaufman or Silver Cup, but I went out there and they were all like around the coffee urn having coffee and laughing, and I walked up and like all the laughing stopped, you know? And I probably could never play that part now because I'm too old, meaning spiritually, I just think that that's such an hideous, if you handed me that, I'd say, oh God, I want to play Michael Landon now. I want to do like Little House on the Prairie now. When you're young, it's easier to do that.
Your name's Levine. You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch?
One of the main reasons I'm in this business is Pacino. I mean, I just worship Pacino. There's a lot of people who are funny and they make you laugh, but there's a thing that they do to you that eventually you have enough of. But Pacino is one of those rare people like Brando that when the movie's over, you're not done with them. You're like, oh, no, wait. The movie could go on more and more. And a lot of these other guys, they may thrill you, they may amuse you, but you don't really love them. But guys who have a very tough persona or a very intense persona, or people who have a very kind of wacky, crazy, improvisational persona. Al is someone who, you love him. You love him as a person. When I was young, you know, to see Serpico and, you know, when they put that badge on his chest and he's in the bed and he doesn't want the gold shield and everything. I mean, Pacino has played so many scenes of so much emotional complexity. And I was so excited to do this movie until I realized I don't have one scene with Al. I have not one moment with Al. So when Foley called me, and it was kind of this goofy thing that happened where he was like, and I said, who's in the movie? You know, I have a bit of a cold right now, so I can't do Foley's voice like I normally do, but it's almost like Bugs Bunny kind of voice he is. He said, Al's going to be in it. And I said, oh my God. And, you know, of course I sign on and I do the movie and I don't have one frame of the movie with Al. That having been said, which is cool, then I get the big payoff, which is to work with Jack. And my ex-wife, Kim Basinger, she always used to say to me that the greatest actor was Lemmon because he was the greatest reactor, he was the greatest listener, and he was so in the scene, he was so in the moment, you know, and so sympathetic. And a lot of actors don't do that, or they're involved in some kind of bad internal recall mechanism to remember their next line. Or they're playing invincibility, that they're not going to allow whatever you say to impact them. No matter what you say, they're just going to stick their chin out and be completely unfazed by whatever you do. Whereas Lemmon was more like people in real life, whereas what other people said to them really affected him. If I worked with you for a couple months and I turned to you and I said, you know something? I think you're really fucking awful at what you do. And if I said something really shitty, I think that at first, rather than being angry, you'd be devastated. When I worked with Lemmon, I mean, he really played the weight of that and the cost of that on him. You know, what I was saying, he really let it hurt him. So we do that scene, and for me, it's like every other movie, which is, in the beginning when I first made movies, there was the thrill of being in the movies. If the script was decent, there was the thrill of working on decent material. As my paycheck got bigger, there was the thrill of earning the big paycheck. And all that shifts and ebbs and flows. It's money, it's fame, it's material, it's opportunity, glory, and things like that. And for me, though, the one constant has always been the people I got to work with. All the movies I've done, that's what it's been like. I've been like, oh my God, I got to work with somebody I really, really admire. And that was true of Jack. I mean, I think of the flood of all the movies, whether it's The Fortune Cookie or Days of Wine and Roses or The Odd Couple I mean, I could go on and on and on.
I made $970,000 last year. How much you make? You see, pal, that's who I am, and you're nothing.
We shot that scene over the course of a couple of days, and I realized, I'm never going to be friends with these guys on this movie, not doing this scene. So I just went in there and I just did it and got it over with. And if you do something that's more delicate and more fragile, it's harder to make an impression with people. People, again, they think that really kind of a tough, intense thing. You can't handle the truth. That's acting, which it is. But but to me, that's a little easier to get to. Anger is a very easy thing to access for most people, not even actors, but anybody. We all have something to gripe about. And so to be mean and to be kind of abusive to people for its own sake is, no one can do that as an actor. You need to have a goal. And Foley was very helpful to me. Foley probably said one of the most interesting things that had been said to me up to that point as an actor, because he said, you remember that scene in Patton where George C. Scott slaps the guy in the hospital and humiliates the guy in the hospital because he wants to send a signal to all the men in the tent that, that you're not going to disgrace this place of honor. It's like you call yourself a soldier. And when I came into that scene, he said, that's the scene. You're coming in there and you're going to basically say, you call yourself a salesman. And it's not about hating you, it's about wanting you guys to stiffen up and get with the great tradition of the great salesman that I've known in my life. That's the oldest trick in the book. When you do a scene, you want to try to figure out, well, what does that character think he's doing that's right? I watched Patton, he says, you stick your hand in a mess of goo that used to be your best friend's face, you'll know what to do. No war was ever won by a man dying for his country. Wars are won by making the other man die for his country. Not one shred of self-doubt. And I thought, that's what I have to do. I have to totally believe what I'm saying. You are a salesman, and you get out there, and you go under him, over him, around him, or through him. I don't give a flying fuck what you do. Go. And suddenly, for me, it freed me, and it became very right, and I could become as abusive and as contentious as I could possibly be. I remember we shot the off-camera, where we would shoot their close-ups with me off-camera, and I said things that were even worse than what was in the movie. I think I almost made Jack Lemmon cry in one take, because he's such a reactive actor. And I thought Ed was going to punch me. They're all good actors, which means they let it happen to them.
Bunch of fucking nonsense.